Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Section Ninja, and the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Dynamite, January 31st, 2024, the end of January. Now we're on to February. We're in New Orleans. Excalibur, Taz, Tony on commentary. We started off with a fun match. Jon Moxley versus Jeff Hardy. John got the win. I didn't expect Jeff Hardy to get the win, but Matt walks him out. Matt walks it back. Crazy spots, of course. But CMLL, from CMLL, they all come in and they just attack John. And they stated on commentary, there's no one to save John. No Blackpool Combat Club, nothing. So John got his ass kicked, but was that set up some stuff for this weekend on Rampage and for Collision? So we'll see how that all turns out. Next up, Adam Page is a dealer's choice match. Adam Page versus Toa. The big Toa, but Hangman Adam Page got the win. So, and what's funny is, I understood as this dealer's choice thing, you can pick the stipulation of the match, also the opponent as well. And there was really no stipulation here because that comes into play in the main event tonight. And the commentary team was trying to be clever because Hangman Adam Page did not say who Swerve was going to pick, but, the weed jokes, that's aroma and this and that. And I was just like, yeah, RVD. He's going to face Swerve. And I'm betting $1. Adam's going to be like, it's a hardcore match. So we'll see when we get to that. And also, too, my favorite thing about this is Hangman Adam Page tells him, I ain't going to tell you, Swerve, who you're going to face. You're going to wait until the end of the damn show. And I'm looking at the background. I'm like, why is he on Collision? The sloppiness sometimes of AEW is pretty funny because I'm like, look at it back. I'm like, shouldn't that say Dynamite? Why does it say Collision? Just saying. I'm not trying to be picky here, but I'm being a picky bitch. Just details, folks. Details. The Books arrive. Nicholas and Matthew arrive. The Books, giving out fines like crazy. I want to do that. I want to walk up to someone and be like, $500 fine. Pay it today. Peace. Wardlow versus Commander with the Undisputed Kingdom on the outside. I believe Adam was on commentary. I don't know. I was like, just get this over with pretty much. It's like Wardlow's going to win. I don't know. I want to see more of what we're supposed to do with this Undisputed Kingdom stuff because really the story is Wardlow is supposed to be on the verge to go after Samoa Joe for the championship. And when we get to the rankings, it's kind of confusing because he's not in the top 5 of the rankings for the men's division to go after Samoa Joe, even though he's been basically winning everything he's been doing. And he's got the Undisputed Kingdom on his side. So, but of course, they get Commander, then here comes Orange Cassidy, and the Best Friends, and Rocky. They are squaring off with each other. Roderick Strong picks up the mic, and he's just like, hey, Orange Cassidy, they got their big match at Revolution that's going to happen. And, yeah, we're only I believe, 2 months out is in the Revolution. No, Revolution's on the starting of March, right? So we're about almost a month out. So, that was it. Then Undisputed Kingdom, they get out of the ring. Tony's backstage with Big Bill and Ricky Starks and Sting and Darby Allin. And they got their big tag team match next week in Phoenix, Arizona. I feel like Sting and Darby's going to take those championships. I just get that feeling. And then they're just going to ride on high to Revolution and lose those championships at Revolution. I don't know. I thought this whole Sting going out was going to turn out to be Sting and Darby. And the Young Bucks have been part of this storyline as well. Where did they play in this? Is the final match going to be the Young Bucks versus Sting and Darby for the tag team championships, and the Young Bucks get the tag team championships back like that? Because the rule of thumb in wrestling, especially when you're retiring or leaving, you go out on your back. So that's that's what I'm thinking we're going here. It's a little predictable, but that's where I think this is going to go. They're going to beat Big Bill and Ricky Starks because Sting and Darby have been so undefeated. And then they're going to go on to Revolution and lose it to the Bucks because that's there. Chris Jericho versus Kyle Fletcher. I mostly tuned in for Kyle. I just didn't care. This Don Hobbs Takeshita thing, and then Takeshita versus Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho beating Kyle Fletcher, it was just like, okay. How many guys were going to feed to Chris Jericho? And he's not even on the top rank. I don't think he's even in the top 5. No, he's not. And, and which is a good thing. Well, especially how these rankings are working. So, I don't know. I just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Don, Callis, Hobbs, Takeshita. I'm more like, man, why are you doing this to my boy Kyle Fletcher? Losing to Chris Jericho? And they're like, and then next week Takeshita and Jericho. And I'm like, and I'll tell you something. The stupidest thing tonight was the biggest fucking pop for me. And it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything. The Bang Bang Scissor Gang. This whole thing meant nothing. They came out, got the crowd going. Scissors up. Suck it, and guns up, everything. I don't know. It was so obliviously stupid. It was my favorite moment of the night, and it had nothing to do with wrestling. No one came out to challenge the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Nobody. It was just them coming out, having fun, got the Juice cardboard cut out and everything like that. Where is Juice? Bring me back Juice, so we can get the Bang Bang Scissor Gang on top. They got their championships and everything like that. So, this was my favorite moment of the night. My match of the night was probably Jon Moxley and Jeff Hardy, but Adam and Toa was fun. But this show is a little frustrating from a creative standpoint because I'm just like, my favorite moment of the night was something that had, it was nothing to it. It came out, boom, scissors up, scissor me, not scissors up, guns up and everything. But you know what I mean? I don't know if you feel like that way as somebody who's watching the show. The dumbest thing, but the funniest thing, and the most awesome thing didn't do anything. But it was the best thing of the show, in my opinion. Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie. She's with Johnny TV. Tony's on commentary. Best part of this match. This match is okay. And I just don't understand why we are, in order to build Deonna Purrazzo to face Toni Storm for that championship at Revolution is all based upon a duck tattoo. A tattoo, as Tony would say. That is the focal point of that package of well, what does that duck tattoo mean to you? And they're like, oh, Tony, what about the duck tattoo? I was like, really? We're not going to dive in deeper about them coming up together and whatnot. We're just going to focus on the duck tattoo that they got just because they got it. I don't know. Luther and Mariah are on the stage, and like I said, the best part about this match was Tony on commentary. Oh my God, Mr. Tasmanian, and she got some lovely beads in her, not for her neck, and I'm like, whoa, Tony, all right, But Deonna Purrazzo got the win. I feel bad for Taya. She's making out with Johnny TV and randomly in the match. I don't know. They just I'm just getting frustrated here. Renee's backstage with Darby. Here comes the Books. They interrupt. They're like, "Hey, man, we like you." And they mention, "Hey, why are you letting Sting leech off you? He's making all this money. Why don't we make that money, huh? When he's gone. It's coming up very soon." And Darby's like, "My only attention right now is those tag team championships because I'm Darby." But I liked when the Bucks were like, "Hey, we went through an emo phase. Maybe we can get together in some trios thing. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll not." So now the main event. Swerve Strickland versus RVD. Oh my gosh, it's RVD. I did not know. But of course, here Adam Page is on the screen. He's like, you were kind of stupid, Swerve, because you didn't know we could pick the stipulation. It's a hardcore match. What? A hardcore match with RVD? Oh my gosh, you might as well say it's an extreme match, Joe's on commentary. And, of course, Swerve Strickland gets the win. There's a few spots I kind of cringed at. There's a spot with RVD where he's on the chair on the outside, and Swerve stomped him, and his neck just looked like a snap back. And I was like, chairs. And, of course, you got a good table spot and whatnot. And they're talking about these rankings, and after Swerve wins, Hangman comes out. and I'll tell you this, not WWE, AEW has bad habits. They have bad habits. The middle fingers is just like, of course, RVD used one in this match, and we will stick with this until the time remaining, or after the time remaining of the show, we will stick with this. And sometimes they don't at all. And every time they say that, I'm like, why? Just let them wrestle. Don't let me think about the time running out. Don't let me think about the slot of like the next whatever starting next after the show. Just let them fucking wrestle, and then I will watch and be invested. Don't put a timestamp on it for me now and be like, oh, we're gonna go over the mark. We're gonna stick with this. Tony Khan said we're gonna stick with it. Don't give me the fucking time. But this was another funny thing. And they're like, these rankings are coming out. These rankings. And Tony's got a big announcement next week. And it's like, it's probably going to be stupid. But Swerve, Hangman go at each other. It sets up Swerve versus Hangman next week, part 3. And what's funny is like, Swerve is like, dog, I beat you. And Hangman's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yes, he did. If wins and loss matter in AEW, he has beaten you. Yes, did he use Mogul Embassy? Yes, did he take a hardcore match like to choke you out and stuff like that? Yes, but he won. He's beaten you twice, and now we're going into part 3, and that was the funniest part about this whole thing is literally, because they're talking about these rankings and how they matter and who's going to be next up to face Samoa Joe for that championship, and it's basically as soon as this promo is over, like, oh my God, breaking news, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page, and the winner will face Samoa Joe at Revolution for their championship. And I'm just like, then why do I give a fuck about the ranking then? You like, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, sure, I guess, But of course, during this match, Hook came out, Brian Cage, because they're setting up a beef between them two. But my favorite thing about this whole Swerve and Hangman after the match and the promo against each other, you can just hear Joe snarl or sniff, like, whatever. Just those little moments like Swerve's like, I'm going after that championship. You just get you just hear it on commentary. Hangman's like, I'm going after that championship. He goes, whatever. If I'm gonna break it down, I would rather see Swerve Strickland versus Samoa Joe for the championship at Revolution. I think that would be awesome. I think it'd be a way to go. And there we go. That is Dynamite in a nutshell. January 31st, 2024. Excalibur, Taz, Tony on commentary in New Orleans. And I give this show a solid, oh my gosh, 2.5 out of 5. And the 2.5 really goes to the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Yeah, I'll say it like that. And let's look at these rankings, okay? Let's look at these rankings. The men's, Swerve, Hangman on top, okay. Adam Copeland. Adam's in the top 5? Really? Over John Moxley? I don't know about that. Roderick Strong, too? So, and who is somebody that's going after Orange Cassidy's championship? So, then on the women's side, Deonna Purrazzo is on top? Really? Like, and Thunder Rosa, just because she's undefeated, she's in the top rankings. I'm just like, man, there is some talent in that back that are thirsty, they're hungry, they want to be champions, but it's just automatically, just because Thunder Rosa comes with, she's a big deal, she's part of AEW and whatnot, and she's already at the top of whatever this ranking shit is. With Deonna Purrazzo too, and I'm just like, I don't get it, man. Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm's thing is all based on a fucking duck tattoo. Like, we couldn't dig deep with simple storytelling of being like, oh, they came up together and they came up the ranks. But also, too, it also comes down to, you got Toni Storm and this timeless Toni Storm character that's a little goofy. So maybe that's why the duck tattoo's a thing, or tattoo, or whatever you want to call it. Hikaru Shida, I haven't even seen her in a bit. So she's already, she's above Sky Blue, who I've probably seen more of. Especially Mariah May. Mariah May's in the top 5? Well, I looked at the other rankings, and I didn't give a shit. I was just like, okay, that's cool. And I had a really bad night sleeping, so maybe that's why I'm coming into this so grouchy, but it is what it is, man. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with your grandma, share it with your grandma, share the bum down at Walmart. 2.5 out of 5 for Dynamite. Okay, that's it. That's all. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life. brother.
That the Blackpool Combat Club's not here tonight. And look at this Volador Jr., Mystico, Hechicero. Yeah, BCC not here. Mox is on her own. What the hell is this? Some